People used to say that war never changes, but now it has, cause Fallout is coming out to our tables, and I am so ready to spread nuclear fallout all around. A quick rant first, because the last set review I did, Murders of Carlo Manor, I did with many a good pun, and well, it was not well received, because many of you disliked my awesome fuck. With that rant over, a few quick notes of housekeeping. 1. I do not know anything about the Fallout lore, never played the games, so this will be a strictly cEDH and Magic look upon the cards. And second, I did an in-depth deck tag for our honorable mention, the Wise Mothman, so click that annotation for that video, enjoy it, and now that you are back, we can look at all the other cards in the Fallout Commander decks, starting with another face commander, namely Caesar, Legion's Emperor. That is a 1, and Mardu, legendary human soldier, 4/4 with whenever you attack, meaning Caesar doesn't have to be the one attacking, you may sacrifice another creature. When you do, choose 2 from the list of 3. Create 2 1/1 red and white soldier creature tokens with haste that are tapped and attacking. You draw a card and you lose 1 life. Caesar, the Legion's Emperor, deals damage equal to the number of creature tokens you control to target opponent. Now that final ability I think will hardly be used in cEDH, I mean this is known as G-Law, but the first 2 are our main focus today. 1, it always gives you fodder to sacrifice later, and second, it draws you a card. With Mardu Summer being a hit during the year of 2023, I think this may be something to look at around the coming summer. As a Mardu midrange, maybe multiple combat kind of deck, which we don't see that often around, but maybe it's something interesting to explore. I mean, it is no Dihada or Timna Dargo, but I do think there is something there to explore deeper. I believe I already saw on Moxfield people messing around and building this deck, so I do hope I get to see it. Good luck, builders. Now let's remain for a second in Caesar's domain for another card of the set, Wild Wasteland, which is an enchantment for 2 and a red that says, skip your draw step. At the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top 2 cards of your library, you may play those cards this turn. Now hear me out, this may be something mono red decks can look at for extra card advantage without being afraid of being too punished by like Bowmaster or Narset effects, but I think the main home for this card will be something like Prosper. The synergy is wild, no pun intended, and I think it may help push the deck even further, kinda like what Obnixilis already does with Prosper in the 99, and also the art is just amazing. And I did hear this was a perk in the game and it was fun. You know me, you had me at Skeletons and Skulls. Let's look at another commander option, this time with Raul, Troubleshooter. A legendary zombie mutant rogue for 1 and a blue and a black, 1/4 with once during each of your turns, you may cast a spell from among cards in your graveyard that were milled this turn. And an activated ability to tap it and each player mills a card. So yes, we got another Dimir Isorev deck. This one can mill out every player and let you cast Thoracle, now with an empty library. If no Thoracle can be found or cast for whatever reason, I mean milling everyone out or exiling if you have a Dolphy or any other graveyard hate means you win the game because everybody dies in their draw step. Except for you, hopefully. An interesting concept, and it comes from one of my favorite decks of the set, Mutant Menace, but I do think the ability to cast a card from the cards you milled when you went off with Isorev is something worth to look at. Also at 3 mana it's not hard to cast and abuse. Maybe some haste enablers and you're ready to go. Speaking of my favorite deck, we come to the Master, Transcendent. A legendary artifact mutant for 1 and Sultai that is a 2/4 with the text, when the Master Transcendent enters the battlefield, target player gets 2 red counters. As a refresher, a red counter or radiation means that at the beginning of pre-combat main phase, a player must mill a card for each red counter they have. For each non-land card milled this way, they lose 1 life and lose the red counter. I love alternative win cons. Also, the Master has an ability. Tap it and put target creature card in a graveyard that was milled this turn onto the battlefield under your control. It's a green mutant with base power and toughness 3/3, which means it loses its color and creature type, but not its abilities. Now, yes, this is a food chain deck where you can cast the Master enough times so that the radiation kills your opponents in their main phase, As a bonus, it works even better with Hermit Druid and Tyvar or similar effects to let it use its ability like it had haste, and well, you mill your deck, put Oracle into the field and win. The thing I also love most is you can take my Wise Mothman deck, exchange the commander for the master, and boom! With the flex slots that I already have, you can add the haste enablers for activated abilities, and boom, you're ready to go. I know how to pick the fun decks, right? In a way, this may be a little better because of the Hermit Druid line, and it may be even better with Dread Return, Narcomoeba. Also, the art is sick enough that seeing it on a thumbnail would be enough to make me click and watch. If you can't tell, I love horror, especially biomechanical. And yet still I have not played any Fallout game. And now we finally come to the final card I want to mention briefly, and that is Red Death Shipwrecker, a blue and a red legendary crab mutant 1/3 with this special ability, Alluring Eyes. Tap it, go to target creature an opponent controls, that player draws a card, you add a red mana. Now Death, are you reaching for straws here, you may be asking? And well, kinda I am. Not every set has to break or redefine cEDH, right? But hear me out about Red Death. And yes, I love it because it has my name in it too, but it is also another Isoref deck. With Isoref combo assembled, you target creature your opponent controls for the ability. In response, you untap it and do it again and again and again, not letting the ability to resolve until you're sure you draw out your opponents once the ability starts resolving. Sure, it's kinda similar to what Kenrith does in one of its lines. But what if they have no creatures to gold? Well, we got like, Forbidden Orchards and other similar effects, but also for a 2-mana commander in Izzet, I think it's worthwhile to look at. And you can also always run the Dual Caster line and Underworld Breach lines. And as a bonus, if the crab is active, and an opponent goes for the Oracle Consult Will, you can kill him with the crab once they have no library. That is also an upside, right? Must be. Even if it is just a meme. If this comes out in foil, I will consider building it for a fun cEDH session. And now we have reached the end. What did you think about the cards I mentioned here today? Are there some other cards that may be worth to look at that I did not mention? Are you ready to embrace the Wasteland? Sound off in the comment section below, and before I go down like a specific DJ on the radio, I will see you all behind the veil.